Herc, our next segment is one we may have to retire soon because it feels like it's a conversation that is maybe 5, 10, 20 years outdated. We used to always throw back and forth. Who's the gigante of CONCACAF? But with the U.S. men's national team now winning back-to-back Nations Leagues and throwing a Gold Cup with a B team, are they the new undisputed giant of CONCACAF?
C team, Seb. I want you to recognize it was a C team, and I was right all along. Okay? Back-to-back-to-back. It's a three-peat. Along with being the only CONCACAF nation to make it out of the group phase in the World Cup, and easily the most promising pool of all the CONCACAF nations. I think at this point, if you can't admit to yourself that right now they are el gigante de CONCACAF and you want to hang your hat on history that was made when the ball was brown, you're just lying to yourself. You're kidding yourselves. And all you're really trying to do is, I guess, take one for your team or say your team being your flag is still there. I mean, the proof is in the pudding. You can say what you want, but the numbers are there, the titles are there. So we can beat around the bush all we want, but what's to not make them the gigante CONCACAF right now? History? Is that what we're going to go off of?
Attendance in their own final at home?
Attendance in their own final at home? Is that what we're going off? Well, I mean,
let me ask you this.
Did you see Mexico's attendance against Panama? And they're really a home team in the States.
Yeah. No, there's no argument. I think in the past you've used the expression, what is it? Who's the tallest of the Smurfs?
Yes.
I think what's different about this is this feels dominant, right? A giant should be dominant. And even maybe in 2019, when you might have said Mexico was the gigante of CONCACAF, I don't think you would have said they were a dominant giant. There's the one game in where was it, New Jersey, that's 3-0 over the U.S., but that was the one moment where they really looked miles ahead of the United States. You know, U.S. right now looks miles ahead of Mexico, maybe not miles ahead of Canada, but a significant distance ahead of the Canadians, especially when you talk about roster depth and those things. I think that's where this feels like kind of a different and ultimately conversation that's really going to become irrelevant, because not only is the U.S. dominant now, but all the trends, Herc, both for the United States and if you look at Mexico, maybe a little bit less with Canada, it's telling you that the gap between U.S. and everybody else in CONCACAF is only going to grow. It's not going to shrink.
Yeah, I'm very iffy on that because I've seen CONCACAF and they go in waves. It goes in trends. And some of these numbers are deceiving because one year Mexico sends their B team to the Gold Cup and the U.S. takes advantage of it. Next year,
it's not deceiving 50 players in Europe to
no, that's not,
10, 15, 20 for the other countries.
That's not deceiving, Seb. But you know, if you are a Mexico fan, you are a Mexico fan to judge greatness, or if you're a giant, you would also include there the youth programs, because that's what I hear a lot. Hey, what about the U17 titles? What about the U23 medals? There's 2 of them. What about this? What about that? There's much more that entails than just the senior men's national team. There's the culture. There's the attendance that you brought up, right? But then when you look at the actual improvements going on, like where one program is, and I'm not just talking about Mexico, I'm talking about other programs as well. You could put in there a Costa Rica, which estancado is a word that's like you've stalled, right?
Stagnated, yes.
Stagnated, yes. That's maybe the most glaring thing with some of these nations, while others like the U.S., others like Canada, or even Panama have seemed to take the next level or seem to do steps to further themselves, and the player pool would be one of them.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN+.